All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Risen 2016. Giving this 5 out of 5 stars. I love this flick. What does the movie poster say? Witness the manhunt that changed the course of human history. Josephine is risen. Not a bad movie poster, not a great movie poster either. Risen is a 2016 biblical drama film directed by Kevin Reynolds and written by Reynolds and Paul Ailil. A U.S.-Spanish co-production. The film stars Joseph Fiennes, Tom Felton, Peter Firth, and Cliff Curtis, and it details a Roman soldier's search for Jesus' body following his resurrection. Columbia Pictures released the film to theaters in the U.S. on February 19, 2016. It received mixed reviews and it grossed $46 million worldwide. Not bad. Clavius, a Roman tribune of Legio X Frentissus, supervises the crucifixion of Yeshua, also known as Jesus, and orders his men to guard the dead body. The body disappears, and the soldiers claim Yeshua's followers stole it to make it appear that he rose from the dead. So Pontius Pilate orders Clavius to find the body to quell an imminent uprising in Jerusalem before the Emperor Tiberius, the child molester, pervert, and murderer. Before he arrives, Clavius and his aide Lucius question people who claim to have seen Yeshua after the resurrection. I don't know why they keep using that word Yeshua, but maybe I'll find out. All right, distributed by, production companies Columbia Pictures, LD Entertainment, and Affirm Films, distributed by Sony Pictures Release dates February 15, 2016 in Dallas and February 19, 2016 in the US. Running time 107 minutes. It's about an hour 47 minutes. A little bit long, but it was decently paced. I couldn't figure out why they didn't include Pentecost in this, but okay. Budget of $20 million. Box office of $46.4 million. Countries United States and Spain. Numerous leads are dug up, and their accounts soon become increasingly miraculous and difficult to believe. Some of the followers, such as Mary Magdalene and Bartholomew, seemingly speak only in riddles and refuse to betray any others. Clavius's intense investigation begins to disturb both Romans and Hebrews alike, and Pilate, under pressure from many sides and fearful of Caesar Tiberius's wrath, becomes increasingly distant and unsupportive. Running out of new leads, Clavius visits a disgraced Roman soldier assigned to guard Yeshua's cave tomb, now a drunkard, and vehemently shakes the drunken man out of a lie that he had previously stuck to. The soldier recounts a fantastic story that on the morning Yeshua disappeared, a blinding flash had appeared, during which the stone and ropes sealing the tomb disintegrated, and a figure appeared, accompanied by a booming voice that sent him and a fellow soldier fleeing in fear. Clavius does not believe him. This is what you say to atheists who tell you God does not exist. There were Roman soldiers who were witnesses. During a raid through a Jewish enclave, Clavius unexpectedly discovers, during a raid through a Jewish enclave, the two things I have to say about this. It's the passion scene is pretty brutal. I heard a couple of elderly St. Dominic's parishioners. They were kind of moaning at the violence in the beginning of the movie. But I'm sure it's nothing like the Passion of Christ. And they do place heavy blame on both Jews and Pontius Pilate for the. I think at one point, Pontius Pilate says he wants to kill him twice. But for Pontius Pilate, I think it's more of a political dance. Anyways, during a raid through a Jewish enclave, Clavius unexpectedly discovers a seemingly resurrected Yeshua with his apostles in a solitary abode. This is where he just drops a sword and he becomes a follower. Although he didn't follow the apostles. To spread Christianity to the four corners of the world. Stunned, Clavius calls off the search, barring Lucius and his men from finding Yeshua and the apostles. Clavius goes inside the house and he makes eye contact with Yeshua. Clavius is in disbelief as he saw Yeshua be crucified, even ordered him to be to have the sword injected into Yeshua's side. That night, another Roman raid, led by Lucius and Pilate, attacks the building that Claudius had forbidden them. Clavius, why did I say Claudius? I'm thinking of I, Claudius. Attacks the building that Clavius had forbidden them from entering and finds it empty, save a note from Clavius, who has decided to follow Jesus and the disciples, but not for long. Having abandoned Roman polytheism, I don't know why he's praying to Mars. Shouldn't he be praying to Jupiter? Having abandoned Roman polytheism and the god Mars, the god of war and also agricultural guardian, I think Clavius should be praying to Jupiter. But anyways, Clavius, at first distrustful of the group, soon joins Yeshua and his father's followers on a journey to determine the validity of his mortal rejuvenation, during which he talks to and befriends both Yeshua and the Apostle Peter. Peter brings him water, and Clavius still slices his leg with the sword. Pilate deduces that Claudius has apparently betrayed him, and Pilate dispatches a contingent of Roman troops led by a promoted Lucius to pursue him and Yeshua. Claudius assists the disciples in evading the Roman search party, and when caught by Lucius, Claudius disarms him, then convinces him to let them pass quietly. Consequently, Claudius witnesses Yeshua's miraculous healing of a leper and then the accession of Yeshua into heaven. What happened to the Pentecost? After which the apostles split up to resume their journeys, and Claudius bids farewell to Peter, later communicating his travels to a stranger in a remote dwelling. Oh, I guess I better not spoil the ending. In 2013, Kevin Reynolds was brought aboard as director for the planned project, The Resurrection of Jesus Christ. Ooh, Karanu's in the chat room. I just watched Logan's Run for the first time. Is that the TV show or the movie? I love Logan's Run, the movie. Excellent film, highly recommended. Good choice, Karanu. So, The Resurrection of Jesus Christ was a film intended as a mystery thriller, an unofficial sequel to The Passion of the Christ, with a script written by Paul Aiello, Karen Jansen, and Reynolds. The film was shot in Malta and Spain between August and November 2015. The film had its world premiere on February 15, 2016 at the Highland Park Village Theater in Dallas, Texas. Columbia Pictures then released it in the U.S. on February 19th, 2016. Risen was released on digital media on May 10th, 2016, and it was followed by a DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Ultra HD release on May 24th, 2016 from Affirm Films and Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. The film debuted in second place on home video sales charts behind Deadpool for the week ending May 29th, 2016. Risen grossed $36.9 million in the U.S., Canada, and $9.2 million in other countries for a worldwide total of $46.1 million against a production budget of $20 million. In the U.S. and Canada, pre-release tracking suggested the film would gross 7 to 12 million from 2,915 theaters in its opening weekend, alongside Race and the Witch. The film grossed $4 million on its first day and $11.8 million in its opening weekend, finishing third at the box office behind Deadpool, $56.5 million, and Kung Fu Panda 3, $12.5 million. Adrian has this movie on DVD. That is a surprise. He's watched it twice. Wow. I'm impressed, Adrian. Adrian likes the biblical films. And Karanu did watch Logan's Run movie, not the TV show. I like the Logan's Run gals with the they're showing off their side boobage with the revealing shirt. My kind of flick. All right. Let's see what we got. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 53% based on 132 reviews, with an average rating of 5.6 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads, Risen benefits from a tighter, Risen benefits from a lighter tone than many faith-based productions. Yeah, lighter tone after about the first hour, as well as a unique take on the greatest story ever told, and a terrific turn from star Joseph Fiennes. On Metacritic, it has a weighted average score of 51 out of 100 based on 28 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A minus on an A plus to F scale. Richard Roeper of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 2 out of 4 stars, praising the different take on the story as well as the supporting actors, but criticizing Fiennes' stoic performance. Megan Basham of World applauded the film, writing, "It's undeniably one of the higher quality faith-based films to hit theaters in recent years, with acting, writing, and production values to rival other mainstream releases." Michael Faust of the Christian Examiner gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, and he called it a detective story that is as inspiring and moving. Yes, Risen is historical fiction, but it's largely harmonious with the gospel story. Incredibly well done, and not much different from those Sunday school discussions many of us take part in week to week, Faust wrote. For some reason, this movie reminded me of Barabbas. And Logan's Run Harry was the 70s. What does that mean? Hairy armpits? I don't know. What do you mean by hairy? You mean bushy beaver? This gets a whopping 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Rated much higher on IMDb. 32,000 ratings. Risen 2016 PG-13. 1 hour 47 minutes. It's a little long, but it manages to keep the pace going. In 33 AD, a Roman tribune in Judea is tasked to finding the missing body of Jesus Christ, who rose from the dead. Here's a flattering review on IMDb from Bunky Foozle. The title of the review is "Joseph Fiennes Deserved an Oscar," and there's no rating on this. Yeah, I agree. The 70s had the best movies. Definitely. Karate Man asked me that question, and I think he was surprised when I did say the 80s. But I'll go with the 70s. Karanu, I'm with you 100%. Yeah, I have reviewed Cannonball Run, and that's not how you spell it, by the way. I did not like Cannonball Run. We like Dr. Phibes Rises Again. We like I'm drawing a blank here. Conqueror Worm and Theater Blood. All right. Here's the review dated May 11th, 2019, somewhat recent, by Bunky Fuzel. I'm a showbiz professional and Tony voter, and this is a lovely movie with a breathtaking performance by Joseph Fiennes. He is absolutely wonderful with an authentic discipline and beautiful arc to his work. I tend to agree to the other professional reviewer who said his acting is wooden and stoic. But we like that on this channel. We like that kind of acting. It's called the Jean-Claude Van Damme School of Acting, also known as the Lee Majors School of Acting. More like this: Paul, Apostle of Christ, the Bible, the Passion of Christ, the Passion of the Christ, and the Case for Christ. Paul, Apostle of Christ, the Bible, the Passion of Christ, and the Case for Christ. During Bartholomew's interrogation, Clavius threatens to crucify him, to which Bartholomew replies that he'd happily submit. Just strike. According to Christian tradition, Bartholomew was eventually crucified for his faith. So he got his wish. He became a martyr. After the martyrs are what built the church, man. Incredible that they were scattered throughout the Roman Empire, and they just managed to multiply so quickly. After the earthquake at the beginning, Lucius said that Poseidon was unhappy. Poseidon is a Greek god. Lucius should have mentioned Neptune, the Roman counterpart of Poseidon. Okay, so I got Mars mixed up with Jupiter just now. Praying to Mars makes sense, but mentioning Poseidon does not make sense. That's how I got confused. I got Poseidon mixed up with Mars for some reason. Don't ask me how. After the earthquake at the beginning, Lucius said that Poseidon wasn't happy. All right, Clavius is quoted as saying, I have seen two things which cannot reconcile: a man dead without question, and that same man alive again. I pursue him, the Nazarene, to ferret the truth. This was featured in the Saturday Show, episode number 1.21 from 2016. Release date February 19th, 2016 in the United States. Country of origin, United States. It's got a Facebook site and an official site. Language English, also known as Chien Bin Thuk Tin. Filming locations Malta. Production companies LD Entertainment, Affirm Films, and Columbia Pictures. See more company credits at IMDb Pro. Oh, Count Yorga is another great 1970s. The 80s and 50s are my favorite decades, but the quality of film in the 70s is unmatched. Too many juggernauts. Well, I was a kid in the 70s, and I love Evel Knievel. He was my hero when I was a kid. I got an Evel Knievel toy, and I played with that thing until it broke. I got it for Christmas. So naturally, I'm intrigued by the 1970s movies like Flesh Gordon. uh, I don't know. It just reminds me of being a kid, I guess. Because you look at the fashion with the mini skirts in the early 70s, man. Those were good. They need to bring those back. We like 1970 skirt. Flesh Gordon. I think Flesh Gordon has a sex scene at the end with a woman who's showing off her hairy armpits. Flesh Gordon is rated R, really? It's got some simulated sex going on. I thought it was a porno flick. All right, so there's Flesh Gordon Meets the Cosmic Cheerleaders, a 4-issue comic book, and a strip club in London, Ontario. Flesh Gordon. Flesh Gordon gets a mediocre 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Emperor Wang is the leader of Planet Porno, and Emperor Wang sends his mighty Six-Ray down towards Earth, which turns everyone into sex mad fiends. Only one person can save the Earth: football player Flesh Gordon. What a great film that was. It's got candy samples in it. How can you not like a film with candy samples in it? So many great films in the 70s. It's got to be the greatest decade of all time. Avengers 6 has never seen Risen. You should check it out. It's pretty decent. The beginning's intense and it sort of tapers off into ancient Rome soap opera. But we like ancient Rome soap opera on this channel. Nothing wrong with that. It goes a little bit into the apostles. I reviewed Flesh Gordon Meets the Cosmic Cheerleaders, and I believe I had the first Flesh Gordon movie review on Yahoo Movies before they vaporized it, and I couldn't recreate it on YouTube, unfortunately. With half of my Yahoo Movies review, they just decided we're not going to have a movie section anymore. So we'll just eliminate it, vaporize it like it never existed. You can't even see it in the memory hole. Well, Risen is a great film. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Adrian has seen it twice. Avenger 6 has never seen it, and Karanu was watching Logan's Run, which is another great flick from the 70s. What's that heart thing all about in the chat room? Okay. Well, I better go down my list now. Even though I went down it last weekend. Or no, last time I went down my list was Monday night when I did I Bury the Living. So I'll do it one more time in case people forgot or they didn't watch my I Bury the Living review. Let me know in the comments what you think about Risen. Is it a good film? It's told from this perspective of a Roman soldier, but in the end, he does end up believing. He just doesn't want to go on the crusade with the apostles to be the fisher of men. So he's got more faith than Barabbas, but he doesn't want to help out, spread the good word. All right. First on my list is Kickboxer 4: The Aggressor. I've watched about 20 minutes of it on English subtitles because I didn't want to crank up the volume at St. Dominic's with all these old people there. Kickboxer 4: The Aggressor, 1994. Albert Pion movie. Then Torn Curtain, 1966. Alfred Hitchcock movie. And Popeye the Sailor Man, I'm in the Army Now, 1936. That's pretty self-explanatory. You know, it's going to be 5 to 10 minutes. Avenger 6 says, they say the set of Popeye is still there in Malta. Anyone know if that's true? Used to have that on vinyl. The soundtrack is great by Harry Nilsson. All right. I do not know if the set of Popeye is still there in Malta. I'm presuming you're talking about the 1980s movie with Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall. I'm not sure what the Henry Nilsson reference is. I guess it's Risen. Henry Nelson? Who is that? Avenger 6 is throwing me curveballs here, man. All right. Well, I'm going to take a nap. A little nappy poo. Wake up and watch Kickboxer 4 in between grocery shopping, dry cleaners, and doctor's appointment. I know the doctor is going to try to force me to get a colonoscopy, and I'll just tell her, nah, I'm taking the stool test. Forget colonoscopy. You're not sticking your alien probe up my doo-doo walls. All right. Well, it's been nice chatting with Adrian, Karanu, and Avenger 6. Have a good night. Let me know in the comments section what you think of Risen. 70 hairy, smelly beavers. Adrian's thinking about Something smells like fish instead of fisher of men. 70 hairy, smelly beavers. All right. Well, so many people in chat room 3 tonight. Laters.